What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. It's time for some Warhammer 40K. I'm a big Warhammer 40K fan. I'm an orc guy. You little gits. That's what I'm all about right there. It's crumpin' yumis. I'm all about that life. I love the orcs. I don't really play too many other factions, but today we're checking out a new Warhammer 40K game where we will purge the enemies of the Imperium under the Imperial Rosary of the Inquisition, which is kind of one of those corners of the galaxy that doesn't get talked about much. The Inquisition doesn't factor in a lot of the lore, but they're pretty hardcore. The way that they differ is that the Inquisition is just normal dudes who are just undeniably badass at hunting down heresy, getting rid of cultists, killing aliens, all that kind of stuff. They don't have the increased powers or anything like that the Space Marines have. They are just dudes in power armor doing what they do. Some of them are psychers, which helps out a little bit, but you know, being a psyker can help or it can hinder. It just sort of depends. We've got 3 classes right now we can play as. We can be the Crusader, we can be the Psyker, or we can be the Assassin. I think I'm going to be the Psyker, man. I love Psykers in Warhammer 40K. I just do. I love how they're outcast, how nobody likes them, but they still do their duty, and they still go out and try to protect the very people who ostracize them, dislike them, hate them, burn them at the stake, all that kind of stuff. They do what they have to do, and so I'm going to be a Psyker. Oh, he's a Primaris Psyker. That's even better. So we can be 3 different genres of Psyker. We can be an Aether Walker. The Aether Walker apparently is, let's see here. The Force Sword can create a formidable psychic weapon in the hands of a trained Psyker. Combined with a Force Rod that stores energy, only a few can weather the wrath and insanity of the Aether Walker. We have the Imperialist. The Force Staff is a psychic weapon which is very hard to master, an arcane conduit to channel the wielder's amplified will into the target. Okay, so he appears to be the lighter armored version. We got this dude over here who's got a Force Rod and a bolt pistol. I'm going with the Imperianist, man. I'm going with the Imperianist. I'm going to say anist right now because they hate us because we Imperianist. And so this thing right here, they're kind of sugarcoating what it does. This thing right here amplifies the power of the warp and allows him to project his will onto the warp a little bit better. This is actually kind of a blasphemous object right here in the Warhammer 40K universe, much in the same way that the Psychic Hood is. Like, they use it because they have to, not because they want to. It kind of filters out the voices of the warp and whatnot so that you can dabble. In the actual universe, every time a Psyker dips into the warp to use his powers, there's a chance he'll be corrupted, explode, cause a nuclear eruption. Like, there's all kinds of things that can go wrong every single time a Psyker uses his powers. And the only thing that stops that from happening is his sheer willpower. And every time he does it, it tears at his mind a little bit. This right here removes some of that stress, just like the Force Hood does. I don't think there's anybody in this game that has a Force Hood or anything like that. I think that's mostly reserved for librarians because it's ancient technology that you've got to be really, really powerful. I'd be curious to figure out what level these Psykers are. Are they Delta Psykers, or like what level Psykers are these guys? Because there's different rankings and there's different like echelons, I guess, of psychic power, where if you're above or below a certain threshold, they kill you. But if you're just right in the sweet spot, you're the perfect balance of powerful, yet not going to be tainted by the warp, and so they look for those kind of, I'd assume they're Delta Psykers. They're kind of in that region because that tends to be sort of the safe zone for Psykers. Anymore, they tend to get a little bit corrupted, or they tend to be a little bit too powerful. They become a threat to the establishment. Anything weaker than that, then they're not even worth training, and so they just kill them and they feed them to the beacon. We'll go with, I've played. The difficulty may take greater risks. If you crave a more laid-back experience, you can swap back. We'll go challenge mode. I see no reason not to. We will name this guy Cassius. Can I fit the last name? Cassius Caligo. That's my go-to name whenever I play any kind of Dark Heresy or Warhammer 40K tabletop. If you guys were there for Roll For It, I played a Imperial Psyker during that entire time who was an entitled nobleman named Cassius Caligo, who was like insanely powerful by comparison to most people in the universe, but he was also a dick. He was a dick. He was vainglorious. He was totally self-serving. He was just an asshole. It contains a reserved keyword. Oh, so you can't have a space. Okay, so he'll just be Cassius then. A reserved keyword? What does that mean? Has somebody already used it? Maybe somebody already took my name. This is an online name after all. We'll just name him Caligo. There we go. And so we will start the game on off. Let's play.
Inquisitor's log. Classified report for later transmission. I am closing on the source of the inquisitorial distress signal I was assigned to investigate. It has an ancient encryption used by the Holy Orders. It's authentic, but extremely old. The intensity of the Caligari warp searches is beyond anything I've experienced. There were many delays during the journey, but the coordinates I received from the Caligari Conclave finally led me to this desolate system. The signal is coming from a battered fortress monastery. It got through the warp searches with considerable loss of data, and my astropath has been unable to decipher it. I will personally investigate the source of this mysterious signal.
Inquisitor, this is your captain speaking. I'm still trying to hail the monastery, but I get no response.
The hull looks intact though. I think it was simply abandoned a very long time ago.
Then what do you expect to find over there?
Something that once belonged to the Inquisition. And lots of empty halls.
Sounds exciting. I've instructed your pilots to land on the hangar deck.
Stand by and wait for my signal.
Inquisitor, the automatic defense system has been activated. The turrets are attacking you. Do you...
There we are. Apparently we are beached inside of this place. So a little bit of storyline setting here. Inquisitors are basically all powerful in the Warhammer 40K human world. Like, there is no request an Inquisitor cannot make. There is no request really that an Inquisitor will not be followed, because they can legitimately have entire planets exterminated if they feel like it. Like, they are the end-all be-all of the law in Warhammer 40K humanity. Now, they sometimes overstep their reach. Like, due to bureaucracy, there's some things that they can command, but they can't really enforce, depending if they're outside their comfort zone. But, that being said, if an Inquisitor...
Captain, do you copy? Captain Van Winter, can you hear me? Strange. Box communication is jammed, and I can't use my teleporter device. Something must be disturbing my signal. I will record everything in my audio log in case I don't return.
Question: why do you need a teleporter?
Log. New entry. While attempting to dock in the hangar of an unknown fortress monastery, my transport took heavy fire. I suspect that the automatic weapon systems were activated, but I don't yet know why. The transport has been destroyed. Interesting. Mindless servitors were created for menial tasks, but having a flesh drone just for operating the door seems excessive. Open the door.
Anyways, as I was saying, I don't know why he needs a teleporter device. I don't think he actually, if he's a psyker, he should be able to just warp walk. He should be able to just teleport. He should be able to open a dimensional gate and just go wherever he wants. That can make these guys a little bit hard to predict. You could be talking shit about the Inquisition, and 30 seconds later, he could just appear from behind you out of a pink gate.
An ancient cogitator. Let's see if the tech prayers still hold. It might have information about this place.
A cogitator is just a really fancy word for computer. That's it. It's just a computer. That's all that it is. So we have current status in the possession of the Holy Order of the Emperor's Inquisition. Maintenance log, and it looks like this is corrupted. We're not going to be able to use it.
Just as I suspected. It's a pile of rust. Well, at least I found some interesting diagnostics. I should check all the cogitators on the ship for other details.
Okay, well, let's carry on. Hopefully we don't find any...
New log entry. Bodies everywhere. The putrid stench of death. Horrible wounds still ooze blood. What have we got here? A weapon? Well, the Emperor does protect his loyal subjects.
The way he said that does border on the heretical, by the way. There are essentially two factions of Inquisitors that fight with each other. Conservatives versus... Oh, goody.
Station of chaos. let's cleanse your taint from here.
Yep, we're gonna wipe this taint. You better believe this taint's about to get wiped in half. So what abilities do I have? I got like, ooh, I got some lightning right there. Ooh, I've got cybolts. Ooh, yeah, get you some, buddy. Get you some.
I will rip your mind into shreds. I feel the contagion of chaos seeping into the walls. I taste the despair in the air. This illness must be purged before it's too late.
A pyrokinetic stave. What does the pyrokinetic stave do for me? It gives me, let's see here, we got Bio Lightning, which was my favorite. That's what Cassius Caligo had maxed out. His Bio Lightning was crazy terrifying. He could also shoot Melt-A-Blasts out of his hands. I mean, it had the same stats as a Melt-A-Blast, but it wasn't called Melt-A-Blast. It was called like Lava Blast or something like that. It was pretty dope. He was pretty good at it. What else do we have here? So we've got a continuous effect right there. That's just like, is that the one right there? Molten Beam? Yep, that's the one. That's the one that I had. It'll essentially cut through the hull of a tank. It's pretty good. It's a pretty damn good ability. So we've got Bio Lightning on this one as well. That's a Force Bolt. Okay, that's easy enough. Molten Beam, and then Inferno, which we can put on ourselves. They have increased the performance of the game since the last time I played. The last time I played this title, the performance was terrible.
I've found a room tainted by the filth of chaos.
Let's see here. The Martyr opened fire on an approaching rogue trader vessel, causing considerable damage and loss of life on the targeted ship. Teleportarium signals are regularly jammed, blocking entry and exit to and from the monastery. Conclusion: after thorough investigation and questioning, I can safely claim that no personnel were involved in the incident. The defense turrets opened fire without any human involvement, and the signal blocking any teleportation attempts is generated automatically. So we've logged a priority level request to the maintenance fraternity awaiting confirmation. Had emergency cogitators installed on the hangar deck and a main cogitator in the control room where security personnel can manually override both the turret systems and the teleportarium signals in case of any further incidents. Attachment: Medicae reports of the personnel voluntarily participating in the confessions.
I've found new information. There's an emergency cogitator nearby where I could turn off the jamming signals.
Well, then let's get to it. We got a job to do here. Let me talk to the flesh drone real fast.
Open the door.
It is in the walls now. Everywhere. Taint. In the machines.
By the Emperor. What foul abomination is this?
So that is an actual human being that they've mounted into the wall just to control the door.
Gibberish. I smell corruption. Exciting. Mind the door, please.
Yeah, so that's a criminal, or it's somebody that's an undesirable, and what they do is they essentially lobotomize them, and then they install computers inside of their brains, and they turn them into remote control cyborgs to do simple tasks like open doors, drive vehicles, things of that nature. And so don't be a criminal in the Warhammer universe. It's a bad idea. It's not going to work out for you. We got the taint of Nurgle over here. Let's keep on wiping it until it's all done.
Let my powers cleanse you from your sins.
Alright, so let's go over here. How close do I have to get for this to work? Not that close, actually. There we go. Hit him with that Force Bolt. Get him with that Melt-A-Beam right there. That's what I'm talking about. Light that dude up. But yeah, this ability right here in the tabletop essentially uses the exact same. It's cool that they went back and they looked at the Dark Heresy books so that they could name all the abilities actual things. These are things that exist in the Warhammer 40K tabletop universe. Everything from Force Bolts to Bio Lightning to Inferno. Inferno's kind of risky, though. I didn't run Inferno on my guy. Inferno was kind of... I wanted it, but Inferno was kind of risky. Like, Inferno was one of those things where bad things could happen when you used Inferno, and so I tried to stay away from it as much as possible.
Finally, that's the cogitator that will disable the jammer. I couldn't turn off the teleportation jammer, but the Vox should be fine now. Captain Van Winter, can you hear me?
Inquisitor, finally. I thought we'd lost you.
It would have been quite convenient for you, I suppose.
Trust me, I'm on your side. I'm not saying I don't want my ship back, but who would clear my name if you died in battle?
Your loyalty is quite admirable, Captain.
She must be a rogue traitor. So some people in the Warhammer 40K universe are allowed to have spaceships. Usually only the military is allowed to have spaceships. Anybody that has a spaceship that can trade all over the galaxy on different planets is called a rogue trader, and you get a license to do it. And so she must be a rogue trader, which explains rogue traders tend to work with Inquisitors. Inquisitors use rogue traders all the time to get around the galaxy. Like, that's their main mode of transport, since it's deniable. You can have them murdered and disappeared and nothing bad happens. And it's all about maintaining plausible deniability. So on our character sheet here, let's have a look. They've definitely made the graphics better. The performance is a lot better from the last time I played the game. We have Mind Rift, which is 20% damage at maximum warp heat. I didn't even realize that we had warp heat. Apparently we could join a cabal. We've got ourselves some gear over here. We've got implants. We've got Empyrean armor. We've got some other little things up inside of here. We've got grenades, which I guess do 48 damage and also give us extra HP somehow. I don't know how they pull that off. We've got inoculators on that side. Let's go ahead and find ourselves a job. We've already done the first mission. Let's go ahead and run through the second one.
Our augurs have picked up a Vox signal not far from your location. It is transmitting on an Imperial channel. It could be important.
I'm on my way there.
All right, let's head on in. There's inquisitorial business to handle. So that's Time Warp. What does Time Warp do? An immobile aura that stops time for 30 seconds. You can move normally, but every meter travel reduces the duration by 5 seconds. Attacking an enemy stuck in the aura reduces duration by 5. Okay, that's fine. That's good to know. I'm kind of curious where my heat is at. Is this it over here? That's my inoculator. Okay, where's my warp heat listed at? This is really something that, like, I need to be aware of, because bad things happen if Inquisitors that have Psyker powers cast too much. Oh, I can shoot at those guys from right here. Nice. Let's see if you can light them up then. Oof, these guys. It looks like I've got some kind of stability. I don't know. If I remember correctly, you've got a bar that represents your cover or something like that. And then you've got another bar that's your health. And so they have to shoot away cover or something like that. I'm going to go ahead and light... Oh, those pyrotechnics were fun. All right, so that's my health right there, and it regenerates 1 per second. Oh, we ain't going to get health back very quickly. There it goes. Now it's locked on in. So in between fights, you regenerate normally. Okay. Sweet. Good to know. I'm just going to balls to the wall this thing.
I, the Emperor.
What have you found down there, Inquisitor?
A vile display of cruelty and madness. A sacrifice to the dark gods and their acolytes prowling these decks.
In other words, there's something on that ship that requires human sacrifice. Wonderful.
I don't suppose you have anything to add? I don't suppose we have, like, drop teams on standby? Oh, well, forget these kids. Blast him out of cover real quick. I'm trying to find the meter that represents my psychic heat. Like, I don't see anything around, but we seem to have gone through them pretty quickly. Inquisitorial Psychers are really, really strong. Like, they're probably the strongest Psychers you're going to find outside of Librarians. I mean, that's pretty much it. If you made it to the Inquisition as a Psyker, chances are you're pretty powerful. You have great, great potential, and they want to leash you as a weapon real fast before you get any crazy ideas. Well, I don't see any meters going up or anything like that, so... Oh, there's my warp heat. So that is a special... Oh... Okay, so it's like a limit break. I thought it was going to be like a limit on my power. In the tabletop, if you cast too much, bad things start to happen a lot more frequently, like weird things. You can summon demons into this plane. You can really, really, really mess up. You can destroy an entire planet if you screw up a high-level cast. It can be...
A crude tool of mindless destruction. I'm sure it'll be useful on this ship.
It can be a very real problem. How do I throw a grenade? Like, what's the cooldown on this? It's 3? Okay, so I can do 3. Engineer Theta. Great Machine Spirit of the Martyr. Inquiry. Confidential Emergency Invocation 7763P awaiting review. Analysis. The Machine Spirit of the Martyr shows every sign of intellectual instability. Threat assessment ultra high and growing. Proposal detachment of data source in the Blessed Core, initiating data modules, scrubbing and anointing central processing modules. Personal note, the machine spirit is slowly becoming insane, and it started to override the defense systems, destroying some possibly harmless void craft trying to land on the deck. We must act before it sheds more blood. I don't need to remind you the fateful consequences of such information becomes open knowledge. It all must be remained confidential. I submit this invocation in the name of the Omnicide of the great wisdom of my trusted Hierophant. So people that are in the machine cult, the Mechanicus, the Adeptus Mechanicus, They are the only ones who worship. It's kind of like, you know how Christianity has like God the Father, God the Son, and the Holy Spirit? Well, the machine cult, they worship the Omnissiah, or the machine spirit, essentially, which is kind of like the extension of the Emperor's will onto machines.
Welcome committee at last. That grenade could be useful now.
Yeah, that's a pretty big gun. I don't feel good about its existence, but yeah, throw a gun out there. Do that thing. Yep, keep throwing grenades. Or, you know, just shoot dudes with lightning before you get chopped to death. Oh, that's the commander right there? Okay, let me get rid of the littler guys first then. We can do this. I'm just going to keep spamming my dope lightning because this ability's sick. That's what I'm talking about. Kill them all. Then we're going to flank him, see what we can do here. Ooh. Oh, I think I'm in slow-mo mode right now. Did he call down tarantulas on me? Yo, dude, how you gonna call down tarantulas on me? That's kind of a dick move. I'm gonna melt the hell out of this dude. Oh, he's throwing all kinds of random things at me. Good lord. I need him to die, though, before too long. Like, if he doesn't die soon, we have a very real problem.
I slay in thy name.
I guess so, but we got a skull on our health meter, so we barely made it through that. We've got a stationary cannon. Oh, I could have used that. That would have worked much better. But yeah, the Adeptus Mechanicus, essentially, they worship the Omnissiah, and they believe that all AI is kind of a divine extension of the Emperor's will, essentially. And so, since all the technology in the Warhammer 40K universe is abandoned and reclaimed, nobody really knows how anything works in the Warhammer 40K universe. They just know that it's ancient technology, and they know that it works when the machine priest goes over, the tech priest goes over, he'll say some prayers, he'll rub some oils on it, and then all of a sudden it works again. He'll say some prayer. Like, they don't honestly know how to fix things in a technical sense. They just fiddle with things while saying prayers in a specific order, and that's how they know to fix stuff. I hope you are reading this. That's the safest way for us to communicate. If they find out what we are planning, they'll execute us. Hide your messages in the maintenance sermons and make them look like simple devotional notes. We need to plan our next step. There are huge problems in the research decks. The Red Sanctum has been quarantined. I've received your message, and by the Emperor, this is bad. Same down here. Nobody knows where the Martyr is headed, and with Uther holed up in the Sanctum and his second in charge plotting against him, I have no idea where to turn. Uther is going to be the death of us. Think about it. He promised us immortality and glory for the Imperium, and now we have what? Those things in the Dark Zone. We need to get out of here immediately, or shall we join the others? Sounds like things definitely went wrong here. But then again, it's an inquisitorial ship. I see the rosary all over the place, and I see the emblems of the Imperium all over the place. So, bad things tend to happen in places like this. Oh, that's how I cover. Oh, and then I can jump out, too. Okay, cool. Makes sense. Well, that'll help out in the next engagement. I don't really like this camera angle very much, but, not that big of a deal. We'll go ahead and melt these two dudes real
I
fast.
have found a corpse of an Imperial soldier. I'll take his data slate. It could contain a recording that could shed some light on what happened here.
Okay. So they brought in what looks like a Chaos Marine Dreadnought to clear the place out. Those little flashlight las guns that Imperial soldiers use are not going to stand up to that. You're going to need a very real attack force. If you... Ooh, I feel so powerful right now. I feel so strong. Like, things just die when I shoot my thunderbolts at them. I need to use Inferno on something. What's down here? Loot? Let's see if we can find some loot down here. We've got a medical supply. Very, very nice. So our inoculator is refilled now. I can click that right there in order to get ourselves some extra HP. That'll be nice. We've also got what looks like a Space Marine corpse.
The fallen Adeptus Astartes.
What? Did you just say that there was a dead Space Marine down there?
He must have been a member of that unlucky Imperial reconnaissance team I found.
Allow me to clarify that. You only found pieces of them. So it'll be just you against something that tore apart one of the mightiest champions of the Imperium.
Don't jump to any conclusions just yet, Captain. It could easily be more than one creature.
It's a very Inquisition thing to say. That's a pretty top-level Inquisition thing to say. Inquisitors are only sent to the worst places in the universe. Legitimately. Normally what Inquisitors have is they have like these little mooks that are essentially their apprentices that they send out to handle like menial jobs like killing human beings or stuff like that, like killing off cultists and things of that nature. An Inquisitor is not going to stoop to that level. That's just not what an Inquisitor is. Let's do Inferno. Ooh, that was pretty good. That wasn't too bad at all. Yeah, we got a reborn marauder over here. Go ahead and take his ass out. Keep the... I really, really liked that. I enjoyed the hell... What is that thing right there? I don't know what that is. I assume it's one of his spell effects or something. But yeah, Inquisitors have like these little mooks that are basically their apprentices. They go all throughout the galaxy and do little stuff like wiping out villages full of cultists or helping out Imperial Guard regiments. If an Inquisitor himself has been deployed to a mission, you know that an entire system is probably at risk. Like Inquisitors... Oh. Okay. Little nurglings running around causing problems. They ain't gonna be running around for much longer. We'll get them up and out of here. Inoculator is on my 0 key? That's a weird key to have that on. I might have to rebind that. I don't know how I feel about that situation, but we're out of time for the day. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle to check out indie games. This game is called Warhammer 40K Inquisitor Martyr. If you wanted to get the game for yourself, you can look down below. Grab that at the link. And if you wanted to support me, the easiest way to do that is just to go ahead and hit that like button. It helps out more than you know. Aside from that, though, I don't really have much more for you. Take care of everybody, and I'll see you next time. I do.